Huzzah for BaconBit.
Welcome to this BaconBit, the first one of the season.
First one of the year.
Best one of the year, honestly.
Is it?
We'll see.
Do we know?
So far.
Okay.
Yes, because, we kicked off the season just earlier this week, but we decided we wanted to do a special BaconBit for you right now. And some of you are even watching this in video format, which is also pretty cool. But
It's like you just discovered YouTube? Hey, we're on it.
But we are going to
Welcome to 2016.
We talked to our patrons a little bit about this earlier, but we went on a trip together to California, to Disneyland, and then we had a day where we didn't get to do what we wanted to do initially.
Yeah.
So the short version, I guess we gave the longer version of the BaconBit, but
here we are. Let's tell the longer version.
Okay, we can.
Right. So we bought some souvenirs. We went to the beach and we went
to Disneyland for 2 days, and then we had a third day.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be Universal Studios.
Yes. Obviously didn't end up happening.
Unfortunately, did not happen.
Sure.
Due to the wildfires down there. It was shut down that day.
Thoughts and prayers.
And we couldn't. It sounds so insincere.
I know, but it's real.
But we didn't get to go. And people are suffering far more than we did. But we were kind of bummed out that we didn't get to go to Universal Studios as previously planned. Because we were like, man, are we ever going to get down here again? It was so hard to plan this trip and get all our schedules to work out. Can we do it again? Right. I don't know.
And it's funny because we were all very efficient when it came to going to Disneyland. Like everything was organized. But that empty day, we were like, what do we do? Where should we eat? What happens now? And so we tried to pre-plan for dinner. And with that, I was like, hey, guys.
I think the comment that I made was, it's going to take us 3 hours to decide what to eat. So might as well start talking now.
Because we went downtown Disney and they were like, what do we want to do? And I'm like, let's go to the beach. And it was on the drive to the beach, we started being like, hey, I know we just ate, but we should probably start figuring out what we want to do for dinner.
Meanwhile, I'm like, hey, we're in California. We can't go somewhere that's in Utah. Let's go to Din Tai Fung. It's in downtown Disney. Like, we're good to go. And so let's just enjoy ourselves and eat really yummy food that we can't get anywhere else. Well, I guess a group decision came about because then Joel cleverly was like, well, let's go somewhere. I wouldn't
say cleverly, I'd say on theme.
On theme. Oh, you're a very on theme guy.
That's what I am, because we're driving. I'll tell my part of it.
Please do.
And I just said, I was just like, I'm kind of bummed out that we don't get to do the Universal Studios experience because I haven't been there since I was a little kid. I was really looking forward to it. And I was like, I'd love if we could do something like, I don't know, slightly on theme, like something ridiculous that Baconsale would do.
So you brought up
like a pizza place named Mario's.
Sure.
Or like if we go to Senior Frogs instead of Toadstool Cafe, I'm like, just something.
Senior Frogs, does that still exist?
I have no idea.
I hope so.
I was spitballing. I was driving.
I just know the t-shirt.
To clarify, I was driving at the time.
I've seen this movie. They want Kermit the Frog, but then he won't commit to it. And so then
the Muppet movie. One of the greatest movies of all time. Yes. And so then I was just like, I'd like something like that. And I'm driving. Kent and Zack were DJing.
Joel's going, I want something, I don't know, kitschy.
Yeah,
we were listening to Yacht Rock though on the way to the beach.
We were in California driving a Malibu,
crossing
Yacht Rock,
little 10cc.
Yeah.
And so you said, well, I don't know, what else is there?
And then Kent, you said
Harry Potter.
I said there's Harry Potter World. I don't know, it's like 3 broomsticks. I don't remember what I said. I didn't have anything.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, because I was thinking of all the worlds in Universal Studios because they have the Mario Land and they have all the movie stuff. And I was like, I said Planet Hollywood, something like that. And then I said, or maybe like something from Harry Potter.
And so, sometimes when you say something out loud, you put it into the universe and then you immediately regret it. That's what happened to me. I said, Harry Potter. And my mind went, click, medieval times. And then I immediately was like, I said it out loud without even thinking, medieval times.
Which my knowledge of medieval times basically starts and stops at Cable Guy. I'm like, that's the one from the Cable Guy.
And I immediately was like speaking out loud as Zack is in the backseat planning. And I was like, wait, that seems like a product of the 90s. That probably went away with Blockbuster. Like, that can't still be around. I bet there's not even one around
to which
here.
Zack says,
there's one 7 minutes away. Let's go.
And I fought it. I was like, no, I'd rather have good food, guys. I'd rather go somewhere.
Because then we start giving details
really
like,
tasty.
It's like, and Zach's like, here's what the food looks like. Boom.
Yeah.
It shows us.
It's a half roast chicken.
And then he's like, guys, it's $75 a ticket.
What?
And we were like,
but it's like a show.
Well, and I was like, but it's dinner and a show.
It's 2 hours.
Yeah.
And it's on the company card, I guess. I don't know. But we were just like talking about it.
No, we looked for discounts and we found a 20% off discount.
20% off discount.
We wouldn't have gone if we hadn't found that.
We were like kind of spitballing at first, like, this is stupid. This is funny. Should we do it?
No, and I hate it because, we have Baconsale approval here, and it was these two against me because I was for some reason, I didn't realize the Baconsale branding that was medieval times. And I was like, please don't.
Well, no, that's the funny thing, too.
He forgot that he was on a trip with us. He was like, I have to be cool. It's like, you're never going to be cool next to me on a
good
trip.
guys. But then it was just funny because then we like, as we were getting details, like, okay, here's what the food is. Here's how much it costs. Like, here's where it is. It's this far from our hotel. It's this far from the beach. And we're talking about it. And then the thing that made me laugh was like, Zach would read something like, it's a 2-hour experience in Kent, which went, 2 hours? What are we going to do for 2 hours? And he kept saying that over and over. He's like, what do they do for 2 hours?
Yeah.
So
they filled the time.
They did. And I kept being like, it's like dinner and a show. And
then you guys were like suckers, basically, because it was like, $75 for base ticket. And then you can upgrade your ticket from there.
Yes.
And it's another at least $20. And it's like, hey, you want a slice of cake? Hey, you want to pick your seat first?
No.
And we'll get into if it's worth it or not.
Zach, once again, Zach in the back seat, the DJ / navigator / planner, was all of a sudden like, you guys, for $20 more, we can get banners. We can get a framed photo.
Oh, a framed photo, you say?
Right behind us. We're getting banners. You can get a framed photo, and you can get a slice of cake. Oh, and priority seating.
And that's what really sold us. We wanted to have good seats for the arena.
That's what sold us?
For me, it's the framed photo and the arena seating.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to be up close. I didn't know how close we would be.
Yeah. Because as we started doing, we're like, should we do that? And
okay.
And once again, it was like, me. Do it.
Here's me. Guys, going to be awkward when we're the only 3 people there because it's 2025. It was a random Thursday night. Yeah. So middle of the week, who's going to go to Medieval Times? And Joel's like, yeah, that'll be kind of weird. Zach,
and we were like,
full faith in Medieval Times.
Well, I was like, this is awesome. There's going to be people there.
I thought for sure we'd be like, there'd be a handful of people in there, but that we would be the loudest and best audience members in the crowd.
Well, we were.
Because we get into it. We would get into it. We'd be like, we're here for this. We want to be here.
You got to fully commit on stuff like this.
You do.
But you know how you guys sold me, though? Is because I was fully against it, like I said, is you guys said, who else are you going to do this with? Who else are you going to spend this kind of money? And who else would you want by your side? And I was like, if I had a significant other, I would never make her do this with me.
No, I would want because you actually like her.
I'd want my 2 podcast besties.
And we said, would you take your daughters? You're like, never.
Well, for that price, never. And I realized this is actually perfect, and fate has driven us here.
It really did once it clicked into place as we're driving the car, because we were heading to the beach at that time. Once it clicked in place, it was like, this is perfect. So then Zach's in the back like, I'm booking, and he starts booking it. He booked the tickets, and we got the VIP package, or what they call it VIP, or what do they call it? Like Noble?
I think it was the VIP.
Yeah. It wasn't the Queen's package, but
no, there's VIP one higher than that. We were like, it was like a private meeting with the King and Queen or something like that, and we were like, no thanks.
Yeah.
Awkward.
Little photo shoot.
A little bit. So we pull up and we get there, and this is like, you're driving in whatever in city, and all of a sudden, boom, there's this castle there.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's like a full on giant building. This isn't just some rinky dink.
The inside could be a skating rink.
It could be. I thought maybe, I knew it wasn't going to be in a strip mall, but kind of in my mind, it was like, it could have been like in this kind of rundown strip mall type place. But no, it's like perfectly
the castle.
themed. And we walk up, and the parking lot is packed. Like, full.
Shocking, honestly.
We had to drive all the way back. I had to drive the Malibu all the way in the back to park. And we walk up, and there weren't a lot of people going in at that time.
No.
So like we walk up, and the lady at the front desk says, "My lord, and do you have your reservation?" Or actually, ours didn't.
Yeah, she was a little disrespectful.
It was, "My lord, you'll be right this way." And she's like, "What's the name on the reservation?"
we're from this country over here.
But by the way, really quick, we got the royalty upgrade, which is the first upgrade. No, sorry, the celebration. We were celebration upgrade.
Yes.
There was 3 upgrades. We got the middle one.
Okay.
We didn't get Queen's royalty.
What does the celebration upgrade give you?
Dinner and a show.
Well, obviously.
Priority seating access.
Yep.
This is basically Patreon, essentially.
Preferred seating, aka essentially the front row. VIP status and cheering banner.
Yep.
Which I still have. Slice of cake and a framed group photo for all.
Yeah.
Now,
by the way, our photographer was really happy to have us there. He was really happy to give us direction.
Oh, he had no idea.
He did not care whatsoever.
We can like hold it like
the first thing we do is we walk in after when they give us the VIP.
And I will say, we just spent 2 days in Disneyland, and obviously everything is themed, and you're part of that world.
Yeah.
This was no different. Medieval Times was playing music outside in the parking lot as you're in line. I'm like, yeah, this feels legitimate.
Yep. So they gave us
know what they're doing.
They gave us our VIP lanyards, and immediately I started doing the Wayne's World, hold it up and show it to everyone thing.
Yeah, naturally.
And they let us in, and they got us. It was like you go to the station and you get your VIP lanyard and your tickets, and you go to the other station, you get your crown. You go to the other station, you get your.
Oh, what are the crowns like?
They're Burger King crowns.
Yeah. But there's different colors.
Yes, you get assigned a color as you walk in.
Yeah.
We were yellow.
Yeah.
But there's like yellow, there's red, there's blue, there's red and yellow striped, there's black and white checkered. Like there's different people, and you are assigned to this person, and you will cheer for them throughout the duration of the event.
There are 6 nights altogether, and so they divvy you up between. Was it groups of 6 or was it 8? I'm trying to remember, but they divide the crowd by color, and so you sit with your section, and they have you sit in the lobby for a while.
Well, that's what I was going to say. The lobby experience, you walk in, and it's like, when we walked around that corner and there were so many people, I was kind of floored.
Yeah.
There were so many people in the lobby. And there's like a bar there, and there's a ton of souvenirs.
Glow-in-the-dark swords, wooden
flashy,
swords.
glowy swords, and then actual medieval
shields.
stuff.
Yeah.
And we walk around a corner, and there's horses, real-life horses, sitting in their pens, waiting to go on.
Yeah.
Looked a little sad.
It was like an aquarium with horses.
They looked a little sad, to be honest. The way I had them, I'm like, guys, this is not a good look.
Beautiful horses.
Oh, yes, they were beautiful. They had braided hair and everything.
By the way, if you're a fan or a friend of horses, it's probably not the right place for you.
If you are sensitive to horse issues.
Yeah. Or dressage. If dressage that offends you,
because that's things.
Don't go
in the arena. I imagine outside they're playing and having fun, like when I'm in there. But when I actually saw them in their pens and they got the ropes attached, the safety ropes to keep them where they're supposed to be for show, I was like, that just looks really sad. So
they have like this. What would he say? Like the spokesman, is he like the royal guide?
Yeah.
He announces
Royal Barker.
He announces the rules and how it's going to go, and there are, I don't know, 120 people, 150 people in the lobby with us. And he lets you in if you have VIP pass.
If you have one, but he kept having to say like, now we're going to open, hold your place.
Yes.
Hold your place. We will not let in the blue. Hold your place.
Because people are so excited.
They're so excited to get in.
So we were one of the first people to get in, and we have to go to the far end. Basically, we're sitting in the goal box of one side.
Yeah.
And we got front row.
We were end zone seats.
Which that kind of like when you go to any sporting event, you're like, when you sit down, you're like, oh, we're here.
We're right in the action.
This is going to be so cool.
And they have the arena lit up. Like each section is lit up in their own color, like lighting wise.
It's about the size of a hockey rink.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
It was big.
Maybe a little bit bigger?
About.
Okay.
Yeah.
About the same.
And
of fine sand.
The arena is all dirt and a slight smell of horse in the air.
Yes. Was that the food or was that the horse?
That was the horse. Initially, I was
Zack?
like, oh, it smells like a farm. I'm going to be eating here. But oh, well, I forgot it soon.
I was off the hook the whole time.
Yeah. So then the show begins, and they start off. Well, we meet our server first, Alex.
Yeah.
She was very nice,
Lovely,
and she brought up like kind of I like take your drink orders, and that's always fun. Like they have the pewter plate, the pewter bowl, and then a plastic mug that's gray.
Yeah.
Because
they're like, you want Pepsi?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, they had four sodas.
Yeah. I got a lemonade.
Well, lemonade, Sprite, Pepsi, and maybe that's it.
Yeah.
So do you want to talk about dishes first before the show or as we go, the whole process?
We can talk about the food first.
So essentially, one of the first things they do, and you kind of don't know if you should wait to eat because the king and queen take their time to get out, but they give you your first dish. It's a 4-course meal. And that first dish is in that little platter. They give you, is it tomato bisque?
Tomatoes.
The wench brings around. That's
Do
what
we
they
call her
called
wench? Is that
they
still
called
okay?
her. They said wench and
You're serving wench.
Serving wench and
Do they
serving
actually
serf.
call Alex a serving
They said
wench?
the surf or
Was it surf?
those wenches and serfs, I think.
I would never dare. She was
Oh.
delightful.
She was delightful.
we called her Alex.
Yeah, we did. We're like, thanks, Alex.
Thanks, Alex. So it was tomato soup, but tomato bisque, and you just have that serving bowl that you just have to
Gotta handle
By the
it.
way, we waited too long to eat it because we waited for the king to start talking.
We thought it would be polite to wait the king and queen come out.
Yeah, so it was a little
Turns
colder.
out what you end up is cold soup.
Yeah.
But then we got cold soup, and then just as I was almost done with the cold soup, I got my slice of garlic bread.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Whatever.
was like, that should have come out
Right.
before. What the heck, Alex?
But it's all right. It's bread. Bread is always good.
Alex is lovely.
She was
Yeah.
lovely.
No,
Yeah.
no problem.
And meanwhile, we're like, I even remember saying, I'm done with my Pepsi. Can I get a refill? I think, Zach, you said, I think we have to wait. I think it's part of the show. Maybe they bring it as part of the show.
Well, I needed a refill on my Pepsi, and our serving wench was down on the horse dirt.
Down on the horse dirt, yes.
We were cheering so
yes.
hard.
Once we saw her.
Okay.
So that
But
thing is they
first
have
food,
a
okay.
show going on, and then the servers do go down and be part of the show,
Yeah.
and then come back and serve.
Because they display, like, okay, here are the various knights. They get an introduction one by one.
And we're the squires.
Per section.
Right.
And then they had their squires who were basically grabbing all the props and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they brought out the wenches and serfs.
So
Yeah.
in short time, and this is, maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes into the show, They bring you literally. Alex has a giant tray full of food,
like a baking tray,
and there is
tray.
a half chicken each,
half roast chicken.
Yeah, it's like a half a chicken. Got the leg, the breast,
nicely peppered.
Yeah, they just take tongs, and she has black gloves on too. They actually are sanitary.
Oh, sure.
But she puts tongs and puts it on each of our plates.
And because we had a few children on our row who probably weren't as into the show, they didn't want some of their food, and so we also got a little half piece of corn on the cob and a little like spiced potatoes. Basically, it's just a really well peppered potato.
But then she came over to us and was like, "You guys want extra?"
We got their food.
We got some little kids' food.
They didn't want it, so she, "You guys want extra?" And oh my gosh, it was so much food.
It was a lot of food. It was like 2 pieces of corn on the cob, 2 potatoes, and half
the
a chicken.
It was chickening.
Yeah,
I'll say that there was so much chicken,
and they don't give you utensils.
I need to air out a grievance.
Go on.
I only got 1 extra piece of corn, and
you love corn.
may find out from our Disneyland trip, I'm a big corn guy.
Did we take your corn?
I only got 1 extra. I got an extra potato.
Yeah, we each got 2 of each.
I would have happily traded you.
No extra corn.
I'm sorry, Zach.
I'm still sad.
And I was really full. I could have given it to you.
Yeah, at the end there,
I didn't need it.
Corn juice was just flying.
Yes.
Was it rain?
Yeah, right.
It wasn't corn.
And so
Inside jokes and bacon.
that was the big giant portion, and it took a while to eat to the point where I finished.
Well, they give you.
Yeah.
They said they didn't give you utensils.
No,
you had to eat it with your hands.
And you get 1 napkin.
You get 1 napkin, and you get a little wet nap to start, but then they bring you a big wet nap at the end of the night.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think it's because we were nice to Alex. We got 2 extra big wet naps.
Point of order.
Yes.
Do they not use utensils? Did you realize, or were you too engrossed in the wonderful show? We got a fork.
Oh, yeah,
cake.
at the end with the cane. Yeah, a plastic fork stuck into our
Why
cake.
would we need that fork?
The illusion was ruined.
That cake
had a
was
fork.
so stiff.
I was fully ready to eat that cake with my bare hands.
I didn't realize until several days later while I was at work talking about my experience that I got a fork.
You know what?
And I was a little offended.
That just lowered it a full grade.
I actually, I did notice when it came out, I did kind of go, oh. But
Okay.
still
Were we
good
going to
cake.
eat a piece of yellow
But
cake?
we didn't need the cake because
No.
they give you a little eclair.
A reasonable size eclair.
I mean, it's like one of the little Costco
Average
ones.
size?
Or
Like
a wedding reception eclair.
Yeah.
like a 3-bite eclair.
And
Yeah.
that would be the end
Plenty.
of everyone else's meal.
But then we got cake on top of that.
But because we're VIPs.
We got us let the
With our medieval
we had our
lanyards.
banner.
You know what's so funny though?
We should have it right now.
And not that we could have stored food or saved food, but I love leftovers. And because I got Zach's extra corn, I was just chowing down. I finished my food so fast because I just wanted to enjoy the show and wave my flag without greasy hands. And so I ate fast. And then Alex brings over, "Hey, you guys want to-go boxes?" And I was like, "You can save
That
this
was an
food?"
option?
I didn't need to like gorge myself.
Yeah, you did though.
But overall, should you want to score the food right now or wait till the end?
Let's score right now.
Okay, so tomato soup, tier 1, 2, or 3.
2.
Are we limiting how we can do it?
Yeah, it's tier 1, 2, or 3. It's fine.
Because it was a tier 2. I think it was tier 2 soup.
Tier
It was good.
2.
It was
It's fine.
good soup. Yeah.
Okay, garlic bread.
That's always good. It's tier 1.
It's tier 1.
Okay, chicken.
The chicken was not as dry as I was worried it was going to be really dry chicken.
It wasn't that dry.
No, but I was worried it was going to be dry, and it
Right.
wasn't. But if I'm just thinking if I had to rank the meal, potato would be my number 1.
It was a grocery store rotisserie chicken.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which I really
it's-
like,
Maybe
by the way.
slightly drier than a grocery
As a
store.
bachelor, I really like them.
As a not bachelor, we get them all the time.
But that potato, it was so well seasoned.
Yeah.
And it was moist on the inside. That was my favorite part of the meal.
Hands down, best part of the meal.
Yeah?
It was
you thought so
easily.
too?
Yeah.
It was overly seasoned.
Oh, it was so,
That's what made it good.
I would have
so
traded you
wonderfully
for my
overseasoned.
corn.
No, I liked it. I'm just saying it was like there's way too
Because
much
then-
seasoning, and then it made it.
And the
delicious.
chicken was regular rotisserie. And then
Yeah.
I thought the corn wasn't as good,
It was
honestly.
a little mushy.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's because we had the amazing Disneyland corn, which we'll talk about in a
The
future
worst
video.
part was probably the cake, though. The cake, I was like, it's fine.
It's fine.
That cake was good.
The cake was
No.
mediocre. The frosting was decent.
I liked that cake.
You, I didn't have room for it. I was like, just finish it.
The eclair was a normal eclair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Therefore, it was tier 1.
Well, guys, we've talked way too long
Okay,
about food.
but I'll just say this. Yes.
It's a restaurant.
People
the main
go
event
in
is the
here
show.
and they're spending, and I'm someone that's like, if I'm going to spend $75 to $100 on food, it better be the best darn thing I've had in weeks. And we spent that kind of money on chicken, potato, and corn. And I was like, this isn't like a great deal, but you're watching the show.
yes.
Okay. And now let's get to the show.
So throughout the meal, this is like they'll do something, take a little break. Do something, take a little break.
By the way, spoiler alert for medieval times. Can we spoil the story?
No.
Don't spoil the story.
Are people going to go to medieval times?
Maybe.
They only change the storyline every
Not
like
a
5
sponsor.
years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we let's not get into specifics because also I think that'll be too far in the
Okay.
weeds. But they come out and they do like a little parade of horses.
Yes.
And they show all the knights, but then they come out and do a little dressage and they'll do tricks. And then they'll, as it goes along, like they do different things. And they're doing it for us because we are the royals. We are standing around and the king and queen sitting at the very top. They're the
like
ones
directly across from us.
And they have memorized dialogue they do as well.
And they'll be like, what was our Ryan or whatever? I forget our knight's name, but he's like...
Devar?
No, we are a part of Navarre.
Navarre, thank you.
Yes.
And every time I'd be like, Navarre, the Yellow Knight. And every place went crazy for their night. But we were on the front row. We had our flags.
Now, when I say flags, I don't want you to picture like an American flag on a pole. Picture like a streamer on a straw.
Yeah.
A little more sturdy, but that's what it was.
But that's all you needed.
Yeah.
Just to proudly wave that flag.
We're wearing our yellow crowns. We're screaming. Every time Navarre came out, we're like, Navarre!
Okay. No.
Yellow, go yellow.
It wasn't even. You're underselling it. At one point, Zack says... how did you call them?
I yell over, Yellow Knight is hot.
Yeah, he heard it.
And Joel thought he said Yellow Daddy is hot.
I did.
And so we started calling him Yellow Daddy because, by the way, he was hot.
He was like, what if Kylo Ren was,
I was like,
better looking?
He should win or be the villain because he's super attractive.
He had long, like flowing dark hair.
Yeah, everyone else is kind of plain, but like you could tell, like, they might have the edge.
Yeah.
But I was very proud of the Yellow Knight. Yeah, to the point where I even had yellow fever.
Yeah. Stop. Can't say it. We told you couldn't say that.
I said it on the show.
No.
But then so that's the thing is they come out and then the knights, these employees as they are, they are actors because they're acting as
community theater,
but also they're doing like these horse tricks. Like they had to do the one where they had a little ring on a pole and then you have to run up with your lance and try to lance the little ring, and then they'd rank the knights after and give them points, and they were actually doing it. And at one point I was like, oh, this all looks easy until a couple of them missed, and I went,
here's what it is.
That's probably hard.
It's WWE wrestling, this entire production.
It is. I told my kids it is WWE wrestling meets Dungeons and Dragons.
They can make mistakes, but there's generally a planned story of who's going to win and who's going to lose. But there are mistakes in the competitions themselves.
So then,
and they really are riding horses in a really impressive way.
So they do the non-contact stuff, and that was fun to watch.
Yeah.
But it was when they started doing the jousting, and that was cool. Even though, like, I could see the lance.
You can see the split.
I can see where it's like, it's the part that's supposed to be breakaway lance, and then the realish, I guess. But they're really riding horses at each other full gallop and jamming these jousts into each other.
It really does feel like they set it up exactly how A Knight's Tale was.
Yes.
Right? When they kind of exploded necessarily.
With like spaghetti and
they put up
and then they kind of fall back on their horse and they try to get back up.
And it was funny. For actor safety, I do approve of this, but they would strike each other and then they would immediately throw away the lance.
Yes, and react.
And then they'd go a little further and I'm falling off, but safely.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it. They definitely were concerned about either their employees' safety, and that I did appreciate.
You agree?
And I kept saying to you guys, I kept being like, "This is their job.
This is their job.
This is what they get up and do."
Here's the thing. You're talking to Zack, and he would be doing. I even asked you, Zack, hey, if you lived here and you weren't doing, the Empress, for example, would you work here for a season?
Yeah, I would.
Absolutely.
I would too.
No question.
Yeah.
Also, when we were walking in, I was like, yeah, maybe. But like halfway through, I was like, I love this. I would do it.
Me too.
There's also a moment when the lights were low and I saw this guy walking up and he was the pooper scooper.
There was a couple pooper scooper moments.
And I just kind of went, that's his job.
That's his job.
And you were like proud?
No, it was like, that someone got to start somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
But and then they get off their horses and they do sword fights, and they were really these are real metal swords. They were clanging against each other, and like they had a real mace, a metal mace that they were swinging. Then they hit the shield.
Many a spark.
So, and that's the thing. They had jousting, and that usually turned into hand-to-hand combat on foot. Go ahead.
One of my favorite moments though is when they're swinging the mace around and hitting the shield. You're hearing it going bam,
so loud.
Yeah,
bam, and then there was one where he missed the shield on like the final hit.
Yeah.
But the choreography said, no, he need to hit you here. And so the guy still flung his shield back as if he'd been hit. And we all kind of went.
And there was a story of betrayal. The queen seemed a little bloodthirsty. Obviously, they're going for the no-kill rule, but sometimes people die.
People die by them putting the sword on their belly and then pulling it.
You have to do like 3 times for them to die.
But they're not really dead unless the red lights turn on.
It's like Super Smash Brothers.
They're Disney Star Wars dead.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so when they turned out the lights
in the belly, they were fine.
Slowly, they crawled out of the way. You knew they were dead. And so there was a story of betrayal, and there
were plot twists that we totally we would be like, oh.
One of the sections actually got the villain as their knight. And I was like,
I wish we were there.
they have to cheer for that villain? And I was so mad at this guy.
Can I just spoil a little bit?
Go for it.
Oh,
I'd
come
love
on.
to.
Because Red did something he shouldn't have, and I was mad. And in a moment of when the actors were not speaking, I yelled at the top of my lungs, "Better dead than Red!"
Yeah,
and I got
Blue section really appreciated that because their knight died. And so our knight didn't fare great. He made it to the semifinals. And somehow, because he lost his first match, and he kept coming back. In fact, you did too. We were both getting straight up video of this, not even enjoying it like we're at a concert. But it was so fun. And when he lost, we then took the side of another knight who was a good knight, not the bad one.
Yeah, we started cheering for another section.
We had to cheer for the knight that beat our knight.
Oh my gosh.
I hated that.
I forgot about the most awkward moment of the night, Kent.
Go on.
When Zack went to the bathroom. That's not the awkward part. No, Zack left, and we're walking in. We had our yellow badges, our yellow crowns.
I remember.
And I'm feeling it. I'm like, this is so cool. And we're all in the lobby there looking around.
Okay.
And everyone's wearing like red and blue and green.
For relevancy's sake, we went to Disneyland. Joel was wearing a BYU sweater, and anytime he saw someone in a BYU sweater, it was like a kinship, right?
Like,
You're
like that. Like that.
BYU, and they're like, yeah, go Cougs.
Yep,
Okay.
something like that.
So we're at medieval times. We have our yellow hats and our yellow flags.
I'm in the zone. I'm having a great time. And I see this family. There's a mom, a dad, and some kids, and they're wearing yellow. And I just went, hey, yellow, team yellow. Am I
Team
right?
yellow.
Let's go.
And the look this dad gave you.
He acted as if I insulted his kids. He looked at me just like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
Didn't say a word. He just kind of looked at me like,
And Joel stopped being excited at that point.
oh. And I
hilarious.
didn't really get into it until we got back in the arena because I felt really stupid because of that. I thought we were all here to have a good time, man.
Apparently not.
Yeah.
And so, like, the show is as much as you put into it, I feel.
Yes.
It is, there's everything happening. There's food going on. It's just, you cheer loudly, you boo loudly. It's a melodrama.
And we did. We really got
It's
into
Desert
it.
Star, for lack of it, like with more action, right?
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
slightly better
Exactly.
blocking.
Yeah, I think there was even a video that you got, Kent, where you just hear me screaming nonsense in the background, like, yeah, get him, kick him in the face.
Kill him.
Just, you just got to let go and get into it, and it's a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like then, it was the show got over. All the plots have been revealed and everything. And they had everyone come out and like do a little curtain call, and that was fun to see.
Yeah.
And then our server came up with a little thing and said, "Hey, would you like to give a tip?" And we're like, "Sure." And then I'm like, "Guys, what do we give?"
Oh, we didn't look this
It's
up.
so much money.
We didn't give our tip. What do we do?
We have no idea.
Yeah, but that was but it was fun. It really was a unique experience. I'm so glad we went.
Not only was it fun, it was the best dining experience I've ever had in my life.
Really?
I loved it. I mean, the food, like we talked about it being tier 1. It's tier 1 because you're there, right?
And Kent, you love the WWE.
I love it.
And so this is
even
like,
if you don't know anything about the story, what's going on, it's infectious.
And this is the
you
medieval
can't help
version
but
of
cheer
that.
a boo. And this is people fighting with swords and
yeah.
bad choreography.
they have memorized dialogue, but I also forgot whenever a knight would win, he'd come out with roses and they'd throw the rose to a
Don't
lady
bring
in
it
the
up,
crowd.
Joel. Don't bring it up. Zack was meant to get one.
Kent was trying so hard to get a rose, and I kept being like, "Dude, they're not going to give you a rose. They're only giving them to the ladies."
Yellow Daddy
little girls.
should have given me one.
And it cracked me up. Kent, every time he's like waving his banner frantically, like, "Look at me!"
So I'm obviously a big fan of Hans Zimmer. I felt like Hans Zimmer was there scoring the entire thing.
They have a really good score on that.
We need to find out how available that score is.
I'm sure it's out there.
Loved the score.
awesome.
I was so into it, guys.
Yeah, it's because I had like the dance, like the soothing kind of parts when they were doing like the little horse dancing.
Yeah.
And then the exciting parts when the knights are fighting.
Right.
It was a lot of fun.
And it's almost sad when you have to walk out to your car. It's a little chilly that night, a little windy. And we're like, oh, it was so fun in there. And now we're just walking out to our
We did have fun on the way there, and then the way back, Kent was playing a game via Spotify with us, where it was medieval named that tune.
Yeah.
Named that cover song.
It was popular medieval cover.
You guys did really well.
Medieval covers of popular songs. And we're sitting there driving, and he'd be playing it and literally be like, "Oh, that's Taylor Swift's."
Yeah.
Is that Nirvana?
Shake It Off.
It's like Blank Space, but done like the Bard.
Yeah.
It was great. So that's what we went back, and it was like, oh no, it wasn't music like this at all. It was actually really epic and awesome.
Yeah.
But it was as we walked out, I kind of just did that. Oh, it's over. Oh,
So who do we recommend this to? Everyone, or like you're traveling and it's being paid for, or you're with buddies?
It would be so expensive if I took my whole family to this.
Oh, there's no way.
I mean,
Would your kids get into it though?
You would
I
have
think they
to. You'd have to split them up amongst sections.
And I think there is kids pricing as well. I don't think
There is.
I think so.
I don't think there's 75. At least this is the one in California.
Probably
but
65.
On the napkin and on the crown, it says like all the different locations this happens, and I think the closest one is in California.
Okay, so your kids would enjoy it. You wouldn't necessarily want to pay for them. Maybe if you win the lottery.
Right, but at the same time, it's that once in a lifetime experience where I'm like, I mean, guys, I seriously am considering going with my family.
Current pricing, adult pricing, $75.95.
Oui.
Children 10 and under, $46.95.
That's right.
You don't have many that
So
are
above
okay.
10 is considered an adult?
Yeah.
Oh, girl.
Zach, would your wife go to medieval times?
My wife has gone to medieval times.
Oh, my word.
She has previous to this?
And did she like it?
She gets all in on this kind of thing.
Okay, good.
Especially if
It's the
I would
actress in her.
actually go. I would go with my kids when they were older, but not older than 10.
Well, I want to say that too, is that we were like I said, we were bummed out because we didn't get to go to Universal Studios and we were trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
But then when we told our wives, we have a wives chat, and we told them we were going
Oh, it was
to
a grand
Times.
reveal too.
Yeah, we did. We were like, oh, what did we say? Something stupid like
We're just so sad.
we're so sad. We're so sad that we had to go medieval. We put on crowns for our video. But the wives were so happy for us. Like your wife and my wife were both like, oh, we're so happy you guys get to do this. And they were so pumped.
It was such a win. It was such a win that we got to go. And I don't know how it happened, but it did.
Yeah,
And it was perfectly Baconsale.
it was.
Hence this bacon bit that we're spending
got to
all
do
this
a
time
bacon bit for it.
advertising for
Because our
medieval
account
times.
says that trip is now deductible. Yeah.
But yeah,
Huzzah!
if there's 10 locations nationwide. If you have the chance to go.
I think I'm not saying this is going to be a regular occurrence, but the truth is you can spend $75 and get a lot less out of it.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is like, basically think of it as like an amusement park, but it's a dinner and a show. It's not just food. It's not just the chicken and potatoes and corn.
Sure.
And cake, which was actually good. It's also, I guess, would you guys spring for the VIP package though?
Yes.
If you went with your family? Yes.
I'm glad we got the pictures, to be quite honest.
And the better seating.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know if I would with my whole family, to be honest.
Find a discount. We'll help you out.
Yeah, we got 20% off by Googling, right?
MT20.
On the website, it said use the code MT15, and then Kent's like try,
make it 20.
Try 20.
We should have done MT50.
And then Joel said try 50.
It didn't work.
Didn't work.
But 20 worked. And let them know Baconsale sent you.
Yeah,
But guys-
nothing will kick back. But hey,
I think there would be nothing more fitting than to end this bacon bit with 3 huzzahs. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Huzzah! Huzzah! Huzzah!